I'm not really all that familiar with GameStop, and I guess that makes me kind of a fuddy-duddy in a lot of ways. I mean, I don't really do a lot of video games. I probably played video games maybe less than 3 or 4 times in my entire freaking life. I don't know what the hell I was doing when I was playing it. But I just want to talk about this GameStop situation, and it just astounds me that some on the right, and when I say right in this instance, I mean those who are conservative or libertarian that worships on the altar of what they call the free market system or capitalism. And they claim that billionaires and the government are rigging the systems in order for common people not to adequately participate and get the insider information or advantage, where they can prosper. In other words, this effort to put to a stop people like from the Reddit group, ordinary people making money off of the inside information that they were gathering about GameStop. They claim, well, that's another example of socialism. Wrong. Very wrong. Crony capitalism exists because they want the wealthy and the influence to have as much power over ordinary people as possible. I'm not speaking in platitudes. I'm just saying how it is. And they don't want the little man or the little woman to get a set a foothold in the system. They want to keep the influence and keep the common man out. That's not socialism. I wouldn't say it's capitalism either. I would call it crony capitalism or crony capitalism or corporatism. It's not literally free enterprise in its most neutral respect, but socialism, it is definitely not. I mean, you hear the argument about medical inflation that we have here in the United States. And we have medical inflation because I am sorry, it is the market that's out of control. It is the market. But to hear some of them, they'll say, no, it is not the market. It's too little market influence. You get more competition in the system, and the price is going to go down. No, it will not. Current healthcare system has too much competition within it. This is why an aspirin will cost you $20, or a box of Kleenex will cost you $50 or something like that. I mean, and if you dare to suggest trying to put a stop to that, oh, that's socialism. Don't you dare even suggest that. Like or getting the prescription drug prices down. The government is forbidden for directly negotiating for lower prescription drug prices for their seniors. But oh no, 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 that if your government is going around negotiating, that's socialism. That's using the government force. But at the same time, if a poor middle class person wants to go over the Canadian border and get their pharmacy, which is cheaper than it is here, then all of a sudden they want to use a heavy hand of the state to stop them from doing that. So I mean, spare me the hubbub. Or with corporately managed trade, and this is not so much on Donald Trump because at least on the rhetoric side he was correct on the trade policies. Not much I could say positive about Donald Trump, but he was correct on some aspects of trade, taking a protectionist position. At least verbally, he was. Um, but I hear the talk about, well, Americans would not have to go and move their factories overseas if people were not demanding too much to pay. The unions, and another thing about the unions. government sector unions because it's with the income equality becoming more and more profound. People real, it's politically it suddenly became somewhat politically unacceptable to say that you're against unions the way you used to be, although it still exists. I mean, well, down in the South, people hate unions; they don't know any better. But but then I hear the talk about, well, I don't have any problems with unions in the private sector, but I don't believe in government unions. The state, federal, and the municipal, state, and federal government should not have the unions within as government employees. Well, that's just a sneaky way of saying 6% of the workforce right now in the private sector is unionized, and maybe another 5% is is in the public sector, in the municipal or in the state or federal level. Well, you go and get rid of that 5% with that 6%. It'll be a matter of time before some of these people, corporations, and Tea Party types with their mindset of, well, we just might as well make it against the law to have a union, and that way we can keep things, keep these people from being too uppity, demanding things. Well, and wages, and I hear some people talking about how getting rid of the minimum wage would make things better. And I could almost go along with it if we were to have the unions. But you see, this is the problem with people who take this economic libertarian, whether they are libertarians who are correct on social issues, or whether they're economic libertarians that they're big government right wing status on social issues, like your standard Republican. That they they want to blame everything that on government and anything that protects the people, institutions, the public sector, anything that's there to protect, and they do everything they can to undermine it, starve it for funds, and attack the very idea of the public or the government being there as kind of a buffer zone between the excesses of a free market system to actually have services available where you can actually have a good civil society. I mean, that's kind of a convoluted way of me saying I favor the mixed economy. But it's like a religion to these people. It's like a religion that the if you just have you leave everything strictly to profit, that everything's going to be all right. Well, we know what a failure that proved to be on the question of healthcare. You know, now manufacturing electronics like TV sets or home computers or refrigerators. Yes, the free market, let them have it. Hopefully, those plants will have a union in it to protect those workers. But otherwise, yeah, have at it, free market. Healthcare can't be done. It can't be done. Um, when we spend more than any other country in the entire planet Earth on healthcare per individual, and we do not have universal healthcare, like former Congressman Dennis Kucinich said years ago when he was in Congress, we're investing as much as I'm paraphrasing him. We're investing as every bit as much as other countries in universal health care, but Americans are not getting universal health care. We got to do something about that. Anyway, just everything you want to blame on government, and government is a euphemism for socialism. And no, because the government is involved in something does not make it per se socialist. I mean, you can have people outside in a free market system, a business, a cooperative in the private sector, done by workers who want to divide the profit among themselves. That's an example of socialism. The Mondragon Corporation in the Basque Country of Spain, the Basque region. The Mondragon Corporation is a multinational corporation and is set up by the people themselves, as opposed to the hierarchy of a chief executive officer. But anyway, I it just I'm just kind of tired of this partisan. Everything I don't like is socialism. It's ridiculous. You know, um, we all agree universally that is was a bad ideology. What did the right wing do? They said, "Well, Hitler was a liberal. Hitler was a socialist. Hitler was on the left," and it's just the most migraine ass backward logic they want to use. They want to exalt themselves of anything that's ever been bad on their side, and throw everything that they dislike or find uncomfortable or negative, throw it all on the left and just shove it at the left, and they're the one who involved all the evil. It's just ridiculous. And yeah, there are people on the left that do that to the right, and they're just as ridiculous too. And anyway, I just the GameStop example. The GameStop just a latest example of everything I don't like is socialism. It's silly. Stop it. If you like what you heard, press like. If you didn't, press comment anyway. Comment if you like. Hit that subscribe button. Um, Free speech absolutists create the platform, utilize it, hit the notification bell, subscribe, as I said. And until next time, I'm American Social Democracy. Peace. Bernie Sanders for president in the year 2024.